Okay, Blues TV is here with Andy Woodop, Newbury's Director of Rugby, to talk about the forthcoming season in National 2. Andy, can you start by telling us about your vision for senior rugby over the next few years?
I suppose one of the things that I really want to see at the club is as many people playing rugby as possible. We've been fortunate over the last few years to be in a position where we've had professional rugby players here, and that's been great. And the games that they've played in have also been exciting to watch. But we've slipped down a couple of divisions, and perhaps this gives us the opportunity to look back at where we've gone and where we want to go. And now we're very much in the position of trying to get as many people playing rugby and also developing our younger players and giving them the opportunity to play for the first team on the first team pitch. That opportunity perhaps was there in the past. We just haven't tapped into it as well as we should have done. So it gives us an opportunity to look at that as well.
Okay, so we're coming up to the end of July now, well into pre-season training. How's it going?
It's been going well. We've had to date 61 people turn up for training.
Okay.
Not all 61 have turned up on the same night.
Right.
So when that happens, that will be exciting. But we've always had in excess of 30, 35 players. So a good number to work with. The sort of people that are coming up to pre-season are students who, whilst they may study in this area, don't necessarily live in this area. So they're making an effort to get here, but can't make it all the time. But once they get back to university, it'll be easier for them. And of course, what they're doing during this time of the year is working, trying to get some money behind themselves so that when the term starts, they got some money. So we have to accept the fact that they can't always get here because of work commitments. And so we're having to be a little bit flexible with that. But so far, so good. And they're keeping me informed, and that's all I've asked them to do. So we don't think that they've disappeared. If it's just that they're at work, then it's at work, and holidays, of course.
Okay. So how are you structuring pre-season training this year?
Well, we've got a team of 5 coaches, if you include myself. I think we made an announcement. I certainly did at the AGM, and we may well have done so on the website. That Andy Hickling was going to be back in the fold, and that was very much going to be the case. Unfortunately, that now hasn't materialised simply because Andy found it just too difficult logistically to get here. It was always a concern that he had anyway, and when it came to practice, he really just wasn't getting here. One night he didn't get here at all, and other nights he was getting here late. And those that will know him will know that he's not the sort of person that would want to compromise his position by being late or not getting here at all when he would expect players to be here and be here prompt. So he's made the decision that it's just not going to work, and disappointing that there may be, we've accepted that. Fortunately, we've picked up another couple of coaches. Adi Mycroft, who has Army connections, who Andy actually recommended to us, and a guy called Chris Christopher, who is also just left the Army, living down in Tidworth, so a little bit closer and a bit easier to get to. Mike Marchand, that everybody knows, and then Rob Green, who played with us last year, has picked up a serious neck injury, and so has decided to coach, which was a great boost to us because when a player retires, you often wonder what they're going to do, and he immediately asked if he could get involved in the coaching, and he's come in and he really has shown the boys and myself that he's an able coach. And I'm really excited with what Rob's bringing. So with those 4 and the same myself, it does mean that when there is a big group, we can split it down. So there's nobody standing around doing nothing, and we structure it like that with smaller groups. And then at the end, we finish with structured games, and we've started contact a lot earlier than we did last year. So always a concern, contact. That's when people can get injured. But we can't get away from the fact that that's what the game's all about. So they need to be conditioned, and we decided to start that earlier than we might have done in the past.
Okay, we've got 3 pre-season friendlies coming up in a couple of weeks. We've got Pontypool, Oxford Harlequins and Bath United. Mm-hmm. What's the strategy for those friendly matches?
Really to look at as many players as we can, I think. We will have an idea of those 60, how many we think will be in that initial squad for the first team, but we are very, very keen to run two teams this year. And the reason for running two teams is to create competition. And so we need to see who those players are who can compete with each other for places. And so the pre-season friendlies will give us an opportunity to see a broad spectrum of players. Clearly, the Pontypool game we feel will be a very strong game for us. No team coming down from Wales comes down other than to win and beat the English. So we are expecting a really tough examination of what we're capable of. And then we've got Oxford Harlequins on the Tuesday nights, reacquainting ourselves with Martin Nutt, who coaches and plays up there now. And they had a very successful season and nearly got promotion from National 3 Southwest, which then brings them up into this division. So they won't be an easy team either. And then Bath United on the Saturday, which is their second team stroke academy. And we're playing that, kicking that one off at 1 o'clock. So it'll be a curtain raiser game before Bath play Edinburgh in a pre-season friendly. So opportunity for those players to play on the rec, and hopefully play in front of a few people as they start to wander in for the main game. But yes, it'll all be about seeing what those players are capable of. And we have actually just in the last 24 hours picked up another pre-season friendly, which just gives us a chance to see a few more people. We've arranged a pre-season friendly for the second team, if you want, against Newbury Stags. So that should be quite a contest. I'm sure the Stags will want to prove a few points, and it'll be an opportunity for us to get more players playing like this. It'll be on the same day as we play Bath United on the 21st of August. That one will be played at home while we're away. And so it'll give those that we don't take to Bath the opportunity to prove us wrong. And that's what I want them to do every week, quite honestly. That's how most rugby players go about their business. If they feel they should be in the first team, then they go out and play a good game in the second team and prove the coaches wrong. So that will be the first chance for them to do that.
After a tough couple of years on the pitch at Newbury, what can supporters look forward to this season?
Well, hopefully, exciting, enjoyable, entertaining rugby to watch as well as play. Myself and Mike, and certainly from what I've seen from Adi and Chris and Rob, we're all very much of the same ethos, and that is to give the players the tools for them to make the right decisions, but at the same time give them the opportunity to give it a go. Now that has to be tempered with a little bit of sort of discipline in respects of there's no point in giving it a go with a minute left on the clock and the game's in the bag and then you spill it and they score. But at the same time, if you don't allow them to give it a go, they're not going to win your games with a minute to go with a point behind. So we want them to. We're going to give them the tools to play an expensive game. Can't get away from the fact that it's a young team. It's at the moment certainly not the most physically present side. There's not huge players. We've lost the likes of Chris Rowland and Craig McGrath. We haven't got those sort of figures that may be able to stand their ground in quite the same way. So we've got to be a bit smarter with how we play this game. It doesn't mean we can't play it. We just can't be dragged into set piece play. We can't be having scrums and line-outs and line-outs. If the ball goes into a breakdown, we need to get it away from there quickly. So we've been working on trying to get the ball away from the breakdown as quickly as possible, and then let the players with the speed and the pace and the elusive running show us what they can do and score some tries.